hostility. Thank you. And now for our training on staff and student non-fraternization, which is preventing improper relationships between staff and students. The purpose of this training is twofold: to protect both staff and students, as well as assure the safety and well-being of all TSD staff and students. The need for this training arose out of concerns due to the marked increase in the state of Texas of the number of inappropriate relationships between school staff and students. Here in the state of Texas, in the year 2017-2018, there was an increase in reports from the previous year by 42%, which is concerning. Prior to that school year, reports increased almost 250% over the last 10 years. This chart is from the Texas Education Agency, or TEA, which shows all the reports of inappropriate relationships with a student or minor, starting in the year 2008-2009 to 2017-2018. As you can see, the increases here. This is a very serious issue here in the state of Texas, with ongoing reports of inappropriate relationships between staff and students. TSD has a policy called Staff-Student Non-Fraternization Policy, which applies to the following groups of individuals. The first being staff, which can refer to an individual who is employed here by TSD, employees, agents, and partners or owners of contractors for agencies, as well as volunteers. The second group of individuals that this policy applies to are students, meaning anyone who's enrolled at Texas School for the Deaf. I do want to make you aware of a misconception out there, whether it be based on media, books, or other publications. There is a belief that predators who take advantage of minors appear different than your average citizen, when in fact, people believe that a trusted colleague will never engage in something as heinous as sexual misconduct. But the truth is that offenders or predators, those who are breaking people's trust, do not wear an ugly mask. They oftentimes wear a shield of trust. People feel comfortable trusting them, whereas they're actually taking advantage of minors. So don't assume. We can never know who it is. That's why we must ensure that our behaviors are appropriate, and we all practice this. Now, you will notice the number 1 with a hand up in the upper right corner of this slide. This comes from our TSD policy with staff and student non-fraternization. There are a total of 10 items listed within that policy, so you'll recognize in subsequent slides the numbered items. Again, that symbol there refers to do not harm others. So again, placing emphasis that we do not harm others, staff or students. So the first item of the 10 listed in our policy is do not engage in romantic or sexual relationship with students. These behaviors that are not allowed include dating, flirting, sexual conduct, or inappropriate touching, inappropriate public displays of affection, something clearly over the boundaries, and sexually suggestive comments between staff and students, something that may obviously blur those lines, but it's clear that sex is being discussed. These behaviors are not allowed. Regardless of whether the behavior is consensual, it is still not allowed, even if the student is above age 18. They are an enrolled student at TSD. It is also still not allowed if the student has parental permission. This is TSD policy. Number 2, staff do not foster, groom, become friends, encourage, or participate in an inappropriate, emotionally or socially intimate relationship. Remember, we work here at TSD and we are considered friendly professionals. We can be friendly, absolutely, but we are professionals, meaning that we have boundaries that we cannot cross. Number 3, we cannot allow any child or student to visit your home or for you to visit a student or child's home. You must have written approval from the parent or legal guardian to have an appropriate visit. Number 4, do not initiate or continue communication with students for reasons not related to appropriate purposes, such as work or school issues. Topics outside of that would not be permissible. Still related to number 4, you see listed here different types of communication, including phone calls about items not related to school, video phone, electronic communications including texting, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, or others, oral communication, written communication, and signed communication, anything that would be considered over the line. Number 5, do not permit any student or child to reside in your home unless you are a parent, relative, or legal guardian. Number 6, do not make presentation of gifts, clothing, or cash to a student or child and their families. That could lead to the development of an emotional tie. We have a system here in place at TSD in which you may donate items. It all must be done through the school-sponsored donations and approved by the superintendent. Number 7, do not allow a student or child to travel in your personal vehicle for school-related or non-school-related matters. It could be sports or some other event that's not related to school, perhaps grocery shopping, or perhaps an event at the park. You must have specific approval from your division director or superintendent. Number 8, do not share personal information or give advice on non-school related issues such as marriage, dating, sex, mental health, suicide, or otherwise. Refer them to the appropriate school personnel, such as the counselor or social worker. If uncertain, discuss with your immediate supervisor for further guidance. Number 9, do not provide alcohol, regardless of age, or drugs, either prescription or illegal, to students. The exception is for those provided in accordance with TSD procedure on medication administration. The school must approve medication administration through the health center. Otherwise, it is not allowed. Number 10, do not accompany a student or child to a non-school related activity without parent, division director, and superintendent approval. You must first receive approval from those 3 individuals before you may proceed. Now, the reporting procedures. All TSD staff have a duty to report any knowledge or suspicion of an improper relationship between staff and student. This must be reported. It is not something to hesitate on. Go ahead and make that report. Report this to your supervisor, division director, or the TSD social workers. It is not the time to discuss with another colleague or get advice. Any suspicion or knowledge must be reported to one of those three individuals, who will then follow through on the procedure to protect you, staff, and students here on campus. Any allegation of inappropriate fraternization will be investigated by TSD. The investigation process will be the same as investigations for child abuse, neglect, and improper care. When a report is made, the social workers will take on the investigation and report appropriately. Disciplinary action will be taken up to and including termination for violation of the non-fraternization policy. As a TSD employee, you're aware that our deaf community is extremely small, and often you may have friends who are deaf or family members who work here or close to the community, and it can become complex for a myriad of reasons. If the employee feels there should be an exception to the policy, a request for exception should be made to the division director or school superintendent to discuss and clarify your particular situation. Once again, the emphasis being placed on that employees here at TSD, we have an obligation to not harm others, including staff and students. We here take this issue very seriously. We will conduct investigations if necessary, and disciplinary actions will be taken for all. Thank you.